Good day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining yet another episode of St ATV Podcast. Today, I have a great guest. He is the president of the St Agatha ATV Club. He's doing a lot of things up there and being very involved. He's also a veteran, folks, so let's give him a little extra attention for that as well, please. So without further ado, Mr. David Guerrette, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me today and just share what you have going on with your club and so forth. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. We're just about starting up our season. Our trails up here will start opening on May 22nd, so about a week and a half from now. We're up here in northern Maine. We still actually get snow in some areas, so that's why everybody thinks you're just starting to ride now. But yeah, that's about the time we started, about mid-May.
Absolutely. Your trails are finally starting to dry out enough to where you can get on it without destroying them.
Yeah, I got some of my volunteers out there this week that were working on a trail, one of our newer trails, so that'll get ready. And then I got volunteers this weekend. We'll start putting the signs out and all the trails.
Okay. Great, fantastic.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you have coming on for this upcoming season?
For the season, we should be having an ATV safety course for kids from ages 10 to 12. The state of Maine requires that if they want to ride on the trails with their own machines, they'd have to have the safety course. Now, we provide this free for the community, for anybody who likes that, to do that. We're about to have one here probably in another couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting. We had one last year during COVID. Normally we had about 20, 25 kids, but last year we had to cut it down to 12 because of protocol, and probably have to do the same again this year. But it'll be full. It'll be fun. Right.
Very good. Very good. Now, what kind of activities do you have coming on for the beginning part of the year, end of the year?
Yeah, usually right about July timeframe, we'll do a poker run.
Okay.
That's a lot of people will enjoy that. That way, they'll have a ride. This ride here will probably last almost about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and they'll do a loop and pick up the cards at different businesses and then reach back at our main site. And then we do that every year. Something new this year that we plan to do a little later on is a scavenger hunt. We're trying to get the kids involved. So what we'll do is we're going to put stuffed animals in the trails at different spots.
Okay.
And then one of them will have a lucky something to it. So when they come back and show it to us, they'll get a prize. Well, we're still working on that, but that'd be something new that we haven't done before, because we want the kids to get involved. The poker run's good for the adults and stuff like that, but we want the family part. Later in the fall, we do a hot dog roast for free for our members and our landowners, and that's been getting big every year. I mean, we do that outdoors. Then usually in November, to wrap things up, we'll have a landowners dinner. We'll bring our landowners to our local restaurant up here. We buy them dinner, and it's great for relations because, again, we'll sit down, talk to them, the landowners, because 90% of the trails up here are on private land.
Right.
So we're dependent on them.
Mm-hmm.
So this are just our little thank you back to them to allow us to use their land. But it's a great time for us to talk to them. If they have any concerns, or they'll know what we plan to do. Because we want to keep them very well and work on their land and make sure that they're happy with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I haven't heard of anyone else doing that, so that's really quite fantastic.
The state actually, they're pretty good on. Well, we do the dinner. The state actually reimburses $500 for landowner relations, and you can use that in any way. We choose to do the dinner, basically, because, like I said, it's great to sit down and talk to them and hear their concerns and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a great way to open up the line of communication. It's just fantastic.
It is. It's perfect. I look forward to it every year.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you have any workarounds for landowners that are shutting down their trails or anything like that? Do you have anything going on?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we do. We got one area where they did shut down. And we're going to be looking at that with a contractor this weekend. We'll be walking it just to get a price quote. The state has programs, different grant programs that they have. And right now, I think this year, the state of Maine we'll have a municipal grant, and they're saying that it'd be 90-10, where the club would only have to come up with 10%
Wow.
of the pocket, or the cost of the trail. We're looking at when it's going to be a major project. We had done one a few years ago, same situation, and it was a $32,000 project, and the state at that time picked up 70%. And I'm expecting this project to be about 40,000, 40 to 50, and the state will pick up 90%, and the club will pick up the others. And then we're going to partner up with the snowmobile club because it's a dual-use trail.
Right, right.
But that'll help that one area. And as far as rerouting a trail for a landowner, that's just that one instance. We do have it every once in a while. We do, like I told you earlier, we do have one trail my guys got some volunteers working on. We put out a site. It's a cabin. I don't know if you saw it on our Facebook page, and it overlooks the lake, and there's a cabin, a shelter basically. And we're doing a loop, or completing that loop to that site. And that's just about done. So that'll be ready for opening day. So.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners and the viewers and so forth to hopefully learn from other people's mistakes. Yeah. What caused that other case of a shutdown of that other trail?
It's this, sometimes in that area there, especially with that particular landowner, sometimes the people won't stay on the trail. They'll come off the trail and go on to his lane and stuff like that. They'll get upset, and we've had that issue there. Sometimes on the opposite side, again, we have a lot of folks moving from out of state. Up here, we're very fortunate. A lot of our landowners will allow us to use it. Some landowners, when they buy up here, they close it off, and that's right. On the other side. It's just one of those things we expected. We're very fortunate. I think they have a harder time downstate with that, but here, majority of the landowners don't mind us using their land. But again, they do want us to stay on the trails, the marked trails, and we encourage that over and over. Yeah,
because it is an absolute privilege to be able to ride on someone else's land, and
it is. We don't own the land for our machines. We may have a $20,000 machine, and the only land we own is our driveway.
Right, right. So to be able to get out there and have some place to ride.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever ridden in the state of Maine, but like from where I live, I can leave my house and go anywhere. It's just about miles and miles. I mean, from here, I can go over 300 miles downstate to the Ellsworth area. And there is a trail that goes from here, northern Maine, to the southern tip. Yeah. Yeah,
I actually grew up in the Sebago Lake area.
Oh, yeah.
And when I was a kid, it basically, I could leave my back door and I could ride 5-6 towns over all by trails.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Same thing. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Can't do that anymore there, but
yeah, Sebago Lake's gotten populated quite a bit down there.
Yeah, certainly.
But you know the concept, because at one time down there you could. We still have that up here. We're pretty rural.
Right. And that's awesome. It's the great perk for being up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many members are in your club right now?
Right now, again, memberships are starting to come in. We're starting the season. I counted the other day, we're at about 225 family memberships. Last year, we peaked out at a little over 300, right about 311 last year.
Okay.
We're well on our way. The season hasn't started yet, and we're at 225 family members. So that's if you can count the mother and the father and the kids, there's a lot in there. A lot more.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, okay. It is. We've done very well. If you take a look at how you talk about the expansion of the sport, 10 years ago when I've been president of my club for about 10 years. When I first took over, we were averaging about 75 family members. Last year, we topped out at 311, and we're well on our way there this year also. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Now we just got to get all of them involved in volunteering.
Yeah.
That's the next phase.
Yeah. We're very fortunate. We're a club that's run by volunteers, but like most clubs nowadays, it's the same handful of people.
Right.
I may have 300 family members, but I'll have about 15 people that'll do the work.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. There's no way we could have done the success that we've had with our trails and our club up here without these volunteers that we do have.
It really comes down to, yeah, absolutely. The volunteers is what make it go around. You know, I just,
Yeah.
without them, you wouldn't have decent trails. It'd be a mess.
No,
And it wouldn't
not
be
at all. Yeah, not at all. Yeah. And I don't think they realize, and here's another neat thing too, is what I'll do is I'll have some of the members with their kids, I'll have them come out and help us put signs. We'll save a section for them, just so they realize what it takes, you know, and they enjoy it. Every year I'll get a call and say, hey, can my kid come out with you and do some signs? But we encourage it too, so they know that there's more behind just when you get on your machine and take off. Well,
Right.
Those signs have to go up, you know, and we do that also.
Yeah, it helps them learn to respect the trail system and what it's all about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you first get the riding bug? I mean,
like I told you, I did a career in the Air Force, and I'd come home on leave, and one of my relatives had one ATV, and they said, hey, you can have it for the couple of weeks you're home. And I enjoyed it. You know, I love going out there, just ride. You never know what you're going to see, and you know, ride for hours. And I said,
right.
The first thing I'd get home after when I came out from my service time, I think the first retirement gift I bought me was a four-wheeler. Yeah,
not a bad gift.
I think I was home about a week or so, and I had one.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
you got your priorities straight at least.
I did.
Awesome. What's one of the best and funniest stories you ever have from your riding experiences? Either you witnessed yourself or you heard about.
The best stories I enjoy, the ones that I like, is I'll do a trip up to the Allagash. And you're from Southern Maine originally, so you know the Allagash region.
Yes.
And one day I posted that I was going. Anybody want to come up? Well, I ended up having to guide 22 machines over 34 people. So that was quite an adventure. But you know, we brought hot dogs, we brought grills, and we had a good time. It was an 8-hour ride. Took a whole day to go up and back, but everybody enjoyed it, and we didn't lose anybody, because that's a long trail when you're, you know, you can't follow too close because you're eating dust quite a bit. But we did very well. Other times I've seen was one time I'm riding along the trail, and there was a moose in a little bog eating, and I was able to come up close to him, maybe 30 feet or so, and didn't spook him at all. He just looked up at me, and for about 15 minutes I could just stand there and watch him. And that, you know, where else are you going to do that? You know,
right? No,
those are some of the neat things. The funniest thing would have been last year, which gave us the idea for the scavenger hunt on one of our trails. Somebody put little stuffed animals all over the place, which was just weird, out of the blue, you know. And still to this day, I don't know who did it, but the kids loved it, and that's what gave us the idea. Hey, let's do a scavenger hunt and let's add on to this thing. So
that's cool.
Those are the few stories, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
So as the popularity of the sport increases, what are some of your concerns in your area that you have?
Just the respect for the lane, for the, you know, you get a lot of folks riding, a lot of kids. It's really congested now in our trails a little bit. The machines are getting bigger and faster. You know, a lot of these folks think they're the only ones on the trail, but you got people coming both ways. A lot of these trails, some of these machines now, these side-by-sides, they're getting wide. And I know the state of Maine now is coming up with a law where they can't be wider than 65 inches. And then they're going to a maximum weight also, which I'm for. Because again, some of these trails are not meant for two big machines, because again, they'd be roads after that. We don't want roads. We want trails for ATVs. That's the only concern. Just the size of the machines, the people's speeds, you know, are racing out there. It seems like everybody's in a rush to get one point to the other, where I'm the opposite. I'll take my time and enjoy what I see around me.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, there's some great things coming Maine's way. I know there's big plans for really developing some things up there, and I know it's going to be the place to go to in New England. It's really going to compete with New Hampshire. I would say in the next 5 years, some great things are going to happen up there.
Oh, you see it, yeah. I mean, we have well over 6,000 miles of trails. I think we have the most trails in the United States here in the state of Maine for ATV.
Right.
And like I said, I know that the governor's been really involved as far as setting up a task force on how to serve the landowners best, now they're going to up our grant money. We get grant money every year to maintain our trails. They'll be increasing that, but they'll also be inspecting our trails more and more to make sure they're safe and that they're well maintained for the landowner, and that, which is
Right.
that landowner relations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it's going to be quite the place. I mean, the next big issue Maine's going to have is the irritation of the bottleneck at the 95 New Hampshire border.
Yeah.
If we could somehow fix that,
Yeah.
make it easier to get in and out of the state.
Yeah, it's true. But I know it's getting big and it's popular. I think that we must, with ATVs now, with registration, we're probably closer, if not passing snowmobile registration in the state of Maine right now.
I can tend to believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
I know last year you couldn't buy a machine during the season. I mean, a lot of folks were anxious to get out because of COVID, being stuck inside, but
Yep.
we're allowed to go out. So everybody bought one. Everybody bought a dirt bike. Everybody bought boats. So that anything outdoors went great. And I know I've got several friends that bought new machines, and I talked to a friend of mine, and she said she was hoping to get theirs by July. So even now, if you didn't get your machines just yet, you may be out of luck.
Right. I literally just picked mine up last weekend, and I ordered them in the beginning of April.
Yeah.
And I just happened to get lucky.
Yeah.
There are much worse cases out there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. You probably were lucky about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else you want to share with everybody before we sign off?
No, everything is good. Thanks for inviting me. This was interesting.
That's awesome. Well, if people wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? On the Facebook page? Or?
We do have a Facebook page. It's, if you look on Facebook with St Agatha ATV Club, you can go there, message us there. We have lots of pictures of our workers that do trail work. You'll see a lot this week going on. You'll see pictures of our rides up here and just the scenic view. We're very fortunate where we live. It's very scenic up this way. You said you grew up in Sebago Lake. We live right by Long Lake, so we've got a lake right here in town. And we're definitely, St. Agatha is like a hub for sportsmen. You can do anything here. I know if you came up here riding, you can go in a loop every day and not see the same thing every day. Whether you go to the Allagash region or down by Presque Isle or Eagle Lake region, it's all a different loop. And definitely, I hope you do come up and give me a call. We'll go out for a ride. Another way you can contact us is we do have a website, StAgatha.atv.com.
Okay.
And
all right.
Everything's right there. There too, we have a lot of pictures of our local area.
Okay.
Awesome. We post all our events there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be sure to put all those links in the description down below, so that way people just click on it, go find it, check you out,
and
so forth. And
ask any questions, whether what part, even if you don't ride up to this area, we'll help you out somewhere,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and thanks for sharing the beautiful state with us today.
It is. Thank you. You're welcome.
You're very welcome. You have a good one.
You too, sir.